10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Team Empire's turn to pick.
Hi everybody, and welcome back to Dota Pit's Season 4 by G2A. And we're here to do Na'Vi going up against, Team Empire going up against Stark GG.
Hope you missed a great tweeting opportunity.
I did!
An opportunity that will
disappointed.
never show up again.
I'm so disappointed. I'm so disappointed.
For the space of about 20 seconds,
Yeah, it was good.
Team Empire was labeled as
Na'Vi. They were labeled as Na'Vi.
Na'Vi.
They have three former players have they got? There's been a lot of people that gone through Na'Vi.
Sonic, Vos.
Dire team pick.
Aloha ever played for Na'Vi?
I don't know. Actually, I'm
I think he played
thinking
for
about
Na'Vi.
it. I'm like,
I think he played for Na'Vi at one point.
yeah, Na'Vi went through this period of time where they were like, player in, player out, player in, player
He
out.
definitely was a trial for them. I can say he was definitely a trial for them.
Yeah.
Okay, so no.
Yeah, maybe he was, maybe he wasn't. Can't remember.
Did Scandal fill in
10
for him at one
seconds
point?
remaining.
I think Dendy went on holidays and Scandal played as a substitution for like a month.
5 seconds
And
remaining.
then they announced as like Scandal stands in for Dendy, and everyone's like, where are the boy? It was just like, yeah, he's only on holiday. Oh, okay.
The important thing is we know all 5 players on both teams. And the other important thing is
Team Empire's
for all
turn
you
to
bettors
bat.
out there, we're dropping some cash on Team Empire. And I don't know what's up. There's
We're
no
both-
way.
We're both sitting here saying that Stark is, like, in our eyes, probably more of a favorite for this game.
Yeah, there is no way
10
that the
seconds
bets
remaining.
that are so heavily on Team Empire should be that heavily. I mean,
Yep.
if
5
anything,
seconds remaining.
like 50-50 drop or something, I don't believe that Stark is that bad of a
Reserve
team,
time.
nor do I believe that Team Empire is that good of a team right now.
The
So,
roster of Team Empire makes you almost just want to believe in it just because of the players. The same thing, I thought the same about IG for a very long time.
Dire team ban.
I thought the same about a Team Empire too a long time.
Team
Yeah, different
Empire's
Empire
turn
roster,
to
but
bat.
you know, Empire through and through.
You're talking like TI3 Empire?
I mean, take your pick, Toby. Take your
TI4
pick.
Empire?
TI3, TI4, TI5, you know, whatever. Any iteration of Team Empire looked
seconds
good, but
remaining.
failed to produce results.
The only time I ever remember Team Empire producing
5
results was the
seconds
tournament at MLG Pro League Season 1.
Dire team ban.
And
Yeah, where are they
when-
now, Toby?
What?
Where are they now?
Right in front of us playing this game?
Well, not one of the directly invited teams. That's where they are.
Well, that was also like
Yeah.
Team
Empire,
Their spirit
Dire
wasn't as
team
strong as
pick.
some others.
Anyway, I think it's probably more realistic that it's like a 60-40 to Team Empire, though I specifically think that in this matchup, while I do think that maybe Empire is perhaps a slightly better team than Stark, I think it's actually more likely that Stark 2-0 Team Empire than the other. I guess we'll see. The draft has already come out.
Team Empire's
So
turn
the
to
reason
pick.
why like I'm at least going the way of Stark is because I saw they did Hellraisers last week, and it was pretty brutal. And the big thing is that Stark seem to come in with a plan to know exactly when they're going to win and how they're going to win, and they execute well. Yes, Trixie feeds up lane. It happens.
Don't worry, they planned for that.
But most of the time,
10
like when
seconds
Trixie was
remaining.
dying in those games, his team was taking a huge objective in the meantime.
5
So it was either
seconds
Roshan or
remaining.
it was Towers or something like that. And you're probably going to see the same thing again here with this Nature's Prophet, where he'll just be playing this
Reserve time.
smoke kind of game. But you've got a Lycan and a Nature's Prophet on the same team. You're going to be heavily pressured. They've already banned out the Chen, so you're not going to have that in the lineup of Starks. But I'm interested to see just how heavily they want to commit. Like, they know what Team Empire is going to play. Like, surprise, surprise, there's an Invoker pickup. Even more of a surprise is the Team Empire Spirit Breaker. They're like the ones who pick this so much at the moment.
Oh yeah,
it's
Spirit
them.
Breaker is definitely one of their bread and butter heroes, and if they leave an Invoker out, that being said, it seems like Stark are, like, while they're giving Team Empire, I would say, some pretty value heroes for Team Empire. Fake is good for anybody, and SB is one of the heroes. Stark seem to have a pretty good, like, well-crafted plan. Nature's Prophet plus a Lycan, you could already see the synergy going on there. We're gonna have a push lineup with a lot of physical damage, especially now with the Witch Doctor being grabbed. The last, like, tying hero would be some sort of initiator, I believe, something
I'm
like
looking
a
to the puck.
Yeah.
Yeah. It just seems to be
10
perfect. Like, you've got,
seconds remaining.
like, the current stuns which are flying your way from the Spirit Breaker and the
5
Vengeful Spirit,
seconds
and
remaining.
both the projectiles. One Spirit Breaker ejects himself, and VS throws the Magic Missile.
Reserve time.
So both are fairly easy to dodge, and you want to have something like a Dream Call and a Silence that can control up most of these heroes, which fills the role. She's not that fantastic for pushing, but you don't really care when you've got like an area of effect controller, which then synergizes perfectly with the Witch Doctor as well as the Bane. Even just think about that. Between Paralyzing Cast, Nightmare, and Fiend Script, how are you meant to actually fight? Like, there's so many stuns will be bouncing around, and Team Empire don't have a minion lineup. Like, if it was Nature's
10
Prophet, like,
seconds
you'd just send these
remaining.
trees out forward, and they'll probably end up soaking up most of the bounces.
Yeah.
So, now they get a
Dire team
Gyrocopter
back.
and just try and... Oh, it's a nice divorced hero, and it just locks down a little bit more teamfight presence for them. The early game's also not too bad for him. It's actually, for
10
me, it's
seconds
more of a
remaining.
concern for Trixie. Because Spirit Breaker and VS do gank
5
him very
seconds
well.
remaining.
That offlane of Stark is going to be really rough.
Reserve
probably gonna-
time.
People questioning why we place Stark higher than many other people. I think it's probably because both of us have a history of watching Stark
Team
kind of like tier
Empire's
3
turn to ban.
Yep.
and knowing that they can be a better team than what we saw at Shanghai Major. They couldn't even make it through the open. European qualifiers was pretty damn well stacked, and I think that
10 seconds
one of the
remaining.
times they went out in a best one, and then the other one I think they lost to like Power Rangers. It was
Dire
just
team pick.
that you can't the open qualifiers as a full breakdown of what the team is.
I agree.
Team Empire though, with the Gyrocopter, I like their draft quite a bit now. I was feeling kind of confident. It seemed like Stark had this plan put together. Really interested to see what this lineup is. But
It's
10
interesting,
seconds
like, if it's still going to be something like the puck, and it is going to be.
it's just too
Team
much though. Team
Empire's
Empire
turn
have
to pick.
Gyrocopter and Invoker with Spirit Breaker, Vengeful Spirit. Like Spirit Breaker is one of their heroes, but Vengeful Spirit. I told you this earlier, Toby. Like Vengeful Spirit is one of the heroes of the patch right now. And then you brought up that stat. What was it?
Oh, it was the ELO rankings, and
Uh-huh.
yeah, it was having Chen at number 1 and VS at number 3, as far as the most effective and heroes in the
10
current patch.
seconds remaining.
Yeah, and she combos really well with Gyrocopter. That was one of the things I used
5
as evidence
seconds
as the
remaining.
VS being strong, is that she does work really well with Vengeful Spirit. Anybody who could buff off Gyrocopter's damage gets
Reserve
like the
time.
added bonus. Black Cannon. Sand King though, a Sand King off lane, I believe, because
It is.
Team Empire usually run the Spirit Breaker 4 position.
I'm wondering if they try and play it a different way, because you can push the Gyrocopter and the VS as a dual offlane, and then let the SK go up against the Prophet with something like Finale earlier leveled up. Is that an op? I know it's an option, but like, how viable is that considering Stark's lineup?
It's not a bad idea to put pressure on the Lycan. Gyrocopter's like good in tri-lanes. Vengeful Spirit is hey. Spirit Breakers, hey. Depends on what they want to do with the Spirit Breaker.
10 seconds
I
remaining.
think. If they want to give the Spirit Breaker more space to be able to have movement around the map, then they should do the defensive.
Funny setting top.
If they
Prepare
if they
for
really like wanted to make sure that tanking got a lot of farm, then they would put it against the pure. It's not like the most amazing matchup in the world because Furion still sits far back, but you would guarantee yourself like lots of farm through Caustic. You are right in that. Your build would also be very go boots, you go scout shields.
The second I saw the boots, I was just like, okay, this is not going to happen.
Yeah.
Nephi's going to break the smoke, so Funnick knows that someone's up there.
Oh, good luck, have fun, and first blood!
Yep, okay, see ya. He's going to turn for a nightmare kind of save. Boogie's there, and they just let the Lycan die.
I don't really... I'm trying to think of how you would prepare better for that. It feels like such a, obvious and, so easily diffused kind of smoke. They just, run right up into you, up a ramp like that, instead of trying to, wrap around or something. But I guess from that position, you can't see down to this side.
Yeah, it's this tree.
So,
it's this tree right here that blocks your vision.
As soon as they come up, they hit you.
But at the same time, I'm surprised the Lycan was there, because if you had someone like a Bane sitting there, you'd walk around the corner, instantly nightmare the first target moving. And it was a level 1 burrow strike, so Funnick's not going to be like, hey, let me just hit you. That's not going to happen. It's like Funnick's actually going to block the lane, so they let her Vorst, Breaker to the off lane. It's a low hard dance onto the gyrocopter on the bottom, and then No Fear supporting as the VS.
Making error that they won't make again. Are they just gonna give the Spirit Breaker opportunity to get leveled?
Not certain. It seems an interesting matchup because, Lycan can just harass him out. He levels up the Howl to start with because they want to try and get a revenge kill here. So with the Howl bonus damage, you throw the Paralyzing Cast now, especially now the creep wave's in range. It doesn't bounce up to him, so Vorst gets a little lucky on that front. At the same time, the VS just dies in the bottom lane. Trixie will lose his life for this, but he just gets a kill for his own life on the off lane. And doesn't give up first blood. That already happened, obviously.
Not sure if it's worth it for him, Trixie. Actually, yeah, it's definitely worth it. Yeah, the way I think, because oftentimes as an offlaner, you don't want to trade yourself for a support unless it's blood. But because he claimed the kill first, that was big. But second of all, just the way that Trixie plays the offlane. We oftentimes joke about how Trixie offlane time again, but that is a actual strategy of his, that he plays his offlane hyper aggressively and will use his HP points as sort of a hammer just to kind of beat down the carry and the support and make them burn through their regen. So yeah, maybe you kill him, maybe you make it a trade-off, you get your carry a kill and lose a support, but it also means that when he comes back, he's going to have his full regen and you're actually going to be quite limited in that regard. Nice block off there, creating himself a regen room.
Alright, so guys inside our Dota TV, you'll be able to hear this, but it looks like we're having some issues staying connected to Twitch. There's nothing wrong with our internet by the looks of it. Everything appears to be working fine. We're just having trouble staying connected to the Twitch ingest server.
Woo! Go Dota TV viewers!
So I've given it a restart, so hopefully the people who are tuning in right now are having no problems whatsoever. But it seems like our Twitch ingest server, which we use, is having some issues.
Warriors of the wood.
That would be the reason why the stream went up and down. So everyone F5 your stream! I don't know if they even have to do that anymore, but it's a platform that you should have.
So... I'm not sure how I feel about this whole, Trigger staying in the offlane and Funnick is bowling and jungling.
You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of, when Havor's would play something like a Lifestealer on the offlane.
Yeah.
You get a couple of levels and then you just rotate into the jungle and use those levels to then obviously support his mid. But that was back when the defensive tri-lanes were it was crazy suicide. Go up against them. This is not that situation at all.
I don't think Funnick should be able to get as much experience as he's gotten. Trixie hasn't actually rotated over and tried to sap some of the experience. Because the big thing that they're trying to do with this Zanking is pull until he gets level 3, where he has level 2 Sandstorm, and then he jungles freely from there. But getting it, I think most teams would be able to punish the Sand Stark is doing. They probably also didn't plan ahead. Gonna be off lane.
I wonder if Funix subscribes to the Book of Milk or not. Second point Sandstorm or second point Burrow Strike?
Jacob go second point Burrow Strike?
He does.
Yeah,
Funix is gonna go for the Sandstorm.
Jacob's living in a world of Dota 1. That's what it is.
That was the debate. You had that debate with you guys during the qualifier, and I'm sitting there listening to it, and this is during like your first round.
Yeah, he does
of the
that too with.
qualifier.
Yeah, he does that with a lot of things. Ganking opportunities, like, dude, if you just farm faster, you'll get the same. It's with the Tide Hunters who go like a third level of Kraken Shell when they're about to clear their Ancients at level 6. Because, like, they don't need Ravage. They're gonna go clear through an Ancient stack. They'll get level 7, almost level 8 out of that. Like, you know, what's the point of giving your Ravage if you're gonna go farm Ancient?
Purge had, like, quad stacks as well. At the Radiant Jungle when he hit level 3. So it's just there going, well, thanks, Purge. Wasn't required. Anyway, Funix still able to now push through. Like, he doesn't finish off the entire camp because obviously it's mud golems, but he's still 3.5, and that's enough to give him enough courage with a smoke to run towards the mid. They're looping around to the bottom lane. They're looking towards Trixie again. I don't know, like, you kill off Trixie, and what do you really achieve? Like,
well, I mean, Furion's a pretty high level, so I think it's a higher value kill than it oftentimes.
Yeah, smoke ran out.
They didn't
No,
make the rotation fast enough, or whatever it was, and
the creep wave position as well seemed to be in an odd spot because Trixie was fighting underneath the tower. They didn't just force it, and there was only like 1 or 2 creeps there, so they would have had to tank the tower in order to do it. But they waited a little bit longer, and then the creep wave pushed out to basically like here. At that point, Trixie just stuck back, realized that the support's missing, not 100% certain. They reveal themselves. Looks like now the supports of Stark are going to have a crack at a Vorst. Vorst does have his 2 points up in charge, so getting away from this shouldn't be too difficult for him until this moment. Because if he now he's dead. Boogie's movement here too means he'll trigger on the Dream Call. It's the Witch Doctor who claims the kill.
I definitely should charge much. If he charges middle lane, I think he cuts into the cliff tree area relatively early on. We might have been able to, or at least force them.
He should have seen that rotation too. There was an observable that was here that sees down into the river area. So he should have seen the 2 heroes moving up. They weren't under the cover of smoke. It was a normal movement.
Aggressive ward being placed by Stark though at this top lane.
Her boss should be dead. OKC is just gonna loop himself around the side.
Yeah, but they don't have that good of damage. With the puck, it was like pretty clear. Kill, but diving behind a tower against a Spirit Breaker, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Like, Spirit Breaker is super tanky. He starts off with like 5 armor.
I also realized there's no point up in Malediction as well. Like, Valix has decided to go for the 2 points up in Voodoo. So they keep the creep wave alive a lot longer, but it howls down, there's no Malediction. You had your like an ulti, but you're not going to rely on that to do enough damage at the time.
Yeah, Witch Doctor is a weird hero right now. Because all 3 of your abilities are actually really highly valued.
Alright, I watch a lot of Witch Doctors go for like the Paralyzing Cask as well as Malediction at level 2. So you got like 1 in each. And then you just find that kill. Like you burn your entire mana pool to do it. Or pretty much your entire mana pool. But it seems to be so effective. Aloha Dance, now a little bit of trouble for him. Fuck. The orb does hit. He's just trying to wait out the Dream Call, but he can't wait long enough. In fact, he ends up breaking it. When inflicted the last point of damage. But the Bane with the Brain Sap made sure that was going to work. Keeping down.
A good rotation so far by Stark. Criticize Empire for not coming and not responding very well to them, but Boogie is getting the kills that he... Very necessary to get your puck kind of in line as fast as possible, especially since you can't put pressure on an Invoker. It's just difficult. Strong in the laning phase.
Okay, it seems for some reason that during our downtime and then uptime and everything else that the Twitch stream just didn't go live. So I am going to try restarting it again. So I apologize to people that missed that. As a little bit of a as a catch up, my voice got caught out in the top, and Dark got caught out in the bottom.
All you need to know is that Stark is making the right rotations. That's maybe going to win the laning phase for them, and that it's not our fault. Got him. If they play this...
Vorse can't run out of it. Like, all you gotta do is just catch him in the Dream Call and you should have this.
Yeah. Gotta wait it out a little. They saw his rotation over, that's why Havos.
With the double damage rune, you still have Stark achieving what they want, though. They still take out the tier 1 tower.
Without Boogie, we just go, you know, like, dive into the tower, throw out the orb, make sure you get that Dream Cloud. As you said, nothing Havos can do about it at that point. Sonic is about to pick up Blink Dagger. So this is the really big thing, right? I was talking about how Trixie wasn't tapping some of that experience. As soon as Sonic gets level 3, boom, he's able to free farm the jungle, and you can get a Blink Dagger pretty damn quickly. This is like pub level timings, you know? Having like a anywhere from 9 to 11 minute Blink Dagger is what Sand King can achieve in pubs. The reason you can achieve it in pubs is that because no one's going to interrupt you. Everyone thinks about themselves and doesn't really think about what the enemy's doing. So you can do the most efficient thing possible and no one will interrupt. So, there it is. Blink Dagger's up. It's got level 6.
Now I instantly just look towards the puck. They've got to slow down that Blink Dagger timing of Boogie. If they don't, then that initiation of Star comes online so much earlier. Trixie, lucky to survive, ends up being a trade-off. Trixie almost got hit by the Sunstrike of the Invoker, so that could have easily been a 1-for-1 trade-off. Now it's a Aloha that drops. Whoops, camera on middle lane. Scandal. It's being dropped on. Nemfi, they don't have detection. Funnick will be able to blink himself in and go for that Burrow Strike. The charge is coming onto Poogie too, but he's got phase shift, so this won't be a problem. As the Vorse jumps in, but Poogie still underneath the Sunstrike. He's still going to jaunt himself away to safety. As the Invoker dies behind the lines, of course Trixie is there. He got his right, the Matrix is going to trigger off, do as much damage as he can on the way out. Vorse going for the ulti! He's able to finish the job. I thought for a moment that his life bar was replacing that of Nature's Prophet and just disappearing. But he'll end up surviving. And we hit 5-4. And our stream is back and alive again!
Alright, they really should not have been that Invoker kill. They did not plan very well going for that. If you're going to commit double ultimate and 2 of your cores to a kill, you better damn well make sure that you've got the resources necessary to claim that kill. The fact that they didn't have dots there on the puck was play that could have been punished for quite heavily. But finally Trixie pulls it out in the clutch. The Invoker behind the tower, and yeah, they're still... I wonder if he's gonna go that Maelstrom build that we saw earlier, or if he's gonna go hand a Midas. I really think he should.
Maelstrom will make sense if, like, they do really commit to the split push kind of thing. I don't know, I wouldn't mind seeing, like, a Midas, and then he builds for, like, that 35, 40-minute win.
Unless you're getting, like, a pre-10-minute Midas.
Middle tower is under attack.
Any item that he builds, he'll be able to, like... Any item that you get on Furion, like, almost any item, it allows you to farm efficiently. Like, even, like, if you go for, like, the dumb Dagon burst, right? At least you're farming heroes, plus it's giving you stats into intelligence, which does increase your attack.
Well, he got enough that he has a lane presence. Like, you got phase boots as well as having the Ring of Basilius. So if he needs to... Well, okay, Trixie's dead. Tries to nature quickly before he ends up dying. The Dream Call is holding Funnick as well as Aloha there, and Funnick's going to give up his life for this too. Try to disappear into the sandstorm, but not possible. Lycan's actually the one to get that kill. That brings him pretty close to Roshan with both Vlad's as well as Medallion up, and no SK with an Epicenter, no cooldown available as well, so they're going to slip themselves inside the pit and take Roshan.
Choice by Stark. The Aegis, they can really start taking down tier 1 towers. That'll be the next step. Like, I think Stark did okay in the laning phase, but...
Do you see him? Do you see him? Yeah, he saw him. A wave of terror magic missile. There's still 4-1 charges as well as a nightmare and a brain sap, but looks like the Bane's gonna die. And they're still only halfway through Roshan, so Nempi and Boogie, yeah, they're getting out of here. One dominated creep which is coming to have a look inside the pit, and they realize the work that Lycan's been doing. This is a minus for Trick. It's gotta be. Because he would have bought the recipe. Yeah, there it is. It's the minus. It's a Trixie minus.
Oh wow, he died to neutrals.
Unfortunate for Empire.
Radiant's middle tower is
At
under
the same
attack.
time now, do they think they can finish up Roshan? Still got Lycan Wolves watching for this.
They just forced the Furion back to like instead 20. I think they can.
Two Wolves are sitting there for 30 seconds, like one inside, one outside, so they can see what's going on.
Oh, Puck actually doesn't have any mana either, so...
Trixie's gonna try and screw with him.
If they knew
that
that...
Wolf is waiting. He wants to deny. You can see it, it's just twitching for the last hit. And it actually, well, it focused that's the Aegis the Immortal.
No.
It was actually killed by the Lycan Wolf. That is Roshan's got the Lycan Wolf. Trixie's still gonna get locked inside of his own Sprout. Paralyzing Cast will stop any kind of chase, but that means that Stark actually get the benefits of killing off Roshan, but Aegis the Immortal still goes to Empire.
Guess that could be worth Trixie's life, the fact that they got the last hit on Roshan.
Trixie didn't need to be there that close, though,
But that
because
was-
it's only sending in Trance.
Yeah, I mean, that was a classic Trixie play, ultimately. The fact that he saw the opportunity to potentially get something that would have made his death worth it, and he went for it. That's the way Trixie always kind of plays. And the thing is, that's when he gets like his feeding reputation, when that thing that he thinks that is potentially gonna happen doesn't happen, and he just dies, you know, no sort of trade-off whatsoever, then it ends up looking... That can happen time and time again.
With me.
Good read by Empire, especially if they saw that the Puck had no mana. There was no good way for Stark to contest. Entirely down to the Puck. And Boogie didn't have Blink Dagger nor... Now he has, and he's actually got a level 2 Dream Coil as well. The successful rotations by Puck have been really big here. I mean, his net worth is the greatest, but his level...
He hasn't leveled it yet. Like, he's got level 11, but that's still only a level 1. Aloha's going to come over, and now Boogie, he throws out that Dream Coil, and it was still just a level 1 Dream Coil. Trixie's going to TP in to try and help out. Sonic, Epicenters, he's inside the tree line, but he brings the damage in. Okay, see ya. He can't really control enough. He's trying to go for the Nightmare control. It's just not doing the work with Varlix. That Death Ward forcing Empire back, especially when Nempi has gone into dog form with the Burrow Strike. Basically clips the heals. His heals not clipped for long enough. He just jumps himself back out. Boogie jumps back in again. But now that Aegis the Immortal expanded Boogie. Phase shifting. He needs one more attack and
nice
to get
play.
the kill. But he still a Vorce, able to finish the job. So Stark is still a 4 for what is 2.5. Trade, make it 5. Almost. Trolls just soaked that up, or is he just a low? No, he's a high X-Hot. The Trolls soaked it up.
doing it? A Vorce? A Vorce?
Yeah, no.
Hey, you know, if it was any other player, I'd be like, nope, no way he completes that, but... You never know, man.
Can they get the Nightmare?
Well, yeah.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
That
They had, the range creep had vision at one point, and the lost vision had to keep running. But yeah, that was a great fight for Team Empire. I got pretty hyped about the play that Boogie made, and I kind of want to explain it. Most Pucks would like try and buy time with phase shift. They would just like leave themselves in the phase shift. Boogie knew he was dead, 100%. So he only used like a millisecond for that phase shift just to be able to interrupt the channeling of Spiritbreaker's ultimate, and keeps on right-clicking that Vengeful Spirit because he knows, like, I'm dead. I just gotta get this kill. You know, in order to make my death a little bit better. Team fight was damn disastrous.
What do you actually think about him going for the extra points up in Orb Rift as well as Phase Shift over getting that second level Dream Coil?
Might have been a mistake. I'm not sure. I'm not a huge Puck player, so maybe there is some sort of interaction in this game that the increase of 0.75 seconds of phase shift mean a lot to him. I'm not sure. Guess we'll find out. Could be something about the Invoker's like combination and the damage that's laid out, as well as the Sank. There's a lot of AoE damage that gets laid out over a period of
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
values more in phase shift, but I think Dreamcoil does scale decent enough that you should level it.
Vorst is charging in. He's actually, yeah, he cancelled on the way out. Starkov, like, this is still the concern I have. Like, yeah, okay, Team Empire's draft, their counter push has been good, their team fight's been quite nice, but Empire, I mean, Stark still have the ability just to force the issue. Like, they've taken out now 4 towers to the 1 of Team Empire's. Yeah, Team Empire does have a pushing lineup, but Stark can just do, like, inflict heavy side damage. This kind of stuff will make it a lot easier. The perfect time with the jump in, but Boogie looking for some revenge. He's got TP support coming in. He'll go for the silence on Phonics, so he can't Sandstorm out this one. At the same time, that Sandstorm's coming back off cooldown. The Burrow strike down. Nemphy's right behind him. He's able to Sandstorm to give him enough time to blink away. The Fiend's grip on a Vorst. Nemphy, he could have kept running for Phonic. Instead, he tries to turn and just ensure the kill over on the Spirit Breaker. But no, he can't even get that. The swap out from No Fear. The definitely blast from Scandal. And then they bring back in the epicenter. Phonic on sub 100 life. Still wants to go for it. Another Sunstrike connects. And be the earned charge from a Vorst that gets the kill. As Stark get heavily punished as they try to counter-initiate Empire on the top lane.
The Ags Rush from Scandal really working out here. I've experienced this Ags Rush. I've actually, I do not like it. I'm not a big fan. But when you have really aggressive heroes like Empire do, it works out really well because you get that maxed out Exort build really early on. So you're doing something like over 500 pure damage. That's why you saw that Furion just disappear as soon as he got hit by the charge. It was over 500 pure damage coming out from that Sunstrike. That's insane. But you have to have aggressive heroes. That's one of the big things. Otherwise, you just end up becoming too much of a passive mid laner, and you don't control the flow of the game enough like other builds on Invokers can. But the fact when you've got Spirit Breaker, Gyrocopter, Sand King, who got a fast Blink Dagger, I think the Aghanim's built great in this game.
He's gonna have his next item soon anyway. Like, he's sitting at 3.1k with that use of the Midas. So Scandal is most definitely going to still have those control items, maneuverability items you're talking about. I'm actually wondering what he wants to choose here. Like, do you go for something more like Blink? 4-staff not as viable. Maybe even something like a Necrobook would rip apart the Stark lineup, especially a Puck. But it is going to be the Blink Dagger anyway. He's the positioning.
I mean, pick Invoker. No matter what kind of build you're going for, you might as well do the haha one-shot heroes build. Especially now that your Meteor is going to do so much.
With that charge over onto OKC, Tornado. Oh look, Bing got one shot. Wow. Very strong hero Invoker is.
Seriously, playing against Invokers as support is so miserable. So props to the professional players who have to deal with it. Their job.
You remember the old phrase with AUI? When AUI would play things like the Skywrath Mage, and then he'd just get destroyed. Nothing he could do about it. Like, from range, like, popped. Wow, okay. Probably should have been watching that one. It's like Epicenter, Blink Dagger, Burrow Strike, FB, and
yeah, it's a very fast kill. It happens in the space of 2 seconds. If he hits the Burrow Strike, Puck's dead. Too much.
AUI always had the phrase, like, I am important. Like, he would pop at the start of a fight, have no influence on the fight whatsoever, but he just sat there going, I am still important as a support.
It's good. I mean, it's a good way to keep your morale up. When you're like, oh god, like I'm just walking around the map, and Invoker, pops out of his Ghost Walk where he's running 522 movement speed, and he just like throws down a combo that one-shots me, and I literally have no counterplay opportunities. Yeah, it's pretty miserable.
And try to remember the hero that actually was like destroying him, because it was a one-hit. It was a one-hit kill on a Skywrath Mage. Vorst, nice ulti, and he actually used the TP too, so there's no way out of this one unless he just runs it. And that option is there. They're looking for it. God, Scandal is so good. Even with that high movement speed, he still predicts the perfect position of the Lycan.
And Cold Snap is a very good ability as well. I mean, like a hero that's supposed to have this like max mobility, but Invoker just keeps doing anything the whole snap.
Oh, Vorst. Straight TP out. Where's your stun? There's a Fiend script. Could have potentially Nightmare, but that might have given another opportunity to maybe charge away, just to be safe.
Now there's a hero that has something to deal with Invoker. Boogie, I always wanted to go back to this. I felt like I explained the phase shift badly. Because I realized he was never going to go back to a level of Dreamkai. He was going to completely max out phase shift. And that's because the survivability and mobility of Puck is key. So the faster that you get to 3.5 seconds phase shift, that allows you to always dodge damage and instantly blink away. The better, the more consistent impact your hero is going to have. Maybe there's going to be some situations, like those 10% of situations, where yeah, the extra level of Dreamwell would have allowed you to be able to get a kill that you wouldn't otherwise, but I think it's pretty rare. Now that I
think about it.
Yeah, now that I thought about it a little bit. Makes a lot of sense.
Fire's having a little bit of a peek over towards Roshan. There was a Sunstrike scout, and yeah, he just spawned up after they scouted. So Sark have the option to try and slip in. They were going to send a Lycan Wolf in, so they understand that the big man is up. They really kind of got to get this Aegis to the Immortal. The team fights already seem to be hard enough as they are, but now that Trixie has the level 3 Necro book, they could actually have really good team fights if you can have a second. But then again, who would you have? Like, you just have a second Puck? Because Lycan's pretty, well... I want to use a phrase which is very appropriate but rather offensive.
Lycan is really bad with Aegis. Any transforming heroes are, but they may still give it to him just because, you know, he's the carry. I think that...
This means you kind of have to like charge in at the fights without your shapeshift, let the Aegis trigger, and then use your shapeshift.
Honestly, there are no ideal scenarios when you're...
Like, you want to give it to a Puck?
As Lycan. Actually, I know what the ideal scenario is, Toby. You're a 7-slotted Lycan and you have Refresher in your inventory. A courier is sitting 500 units away in the trees. You go in with your shapeshift, do your thing, you die, you come back, you pop your Refresher, switched out on the courier for whatever real item is there, then you use shape. That's the ideal of an Aegis.
Sounds so amazing, Cap.
Almost like it's too amazing to be true. Like we've never seen it in competitive Dota. Yeah. Honestly, Lycan's just not a great hero, but you know, I think they think that Puck has enough survivability. They probably just don't want to give it to Trixie. If Trixie gets caught, he's gonna die again anyway. At the very least, you could say that Lycan has a better chance at surviving in his second life, even if he may not be a very effective hero.
It's still going to be effective in the fights, because like, I'm still looking at Stark having the ability to force the issue. I kind of feel like that's the big thing behind the Stark lineup. You got double level 3 Necro books now.
Yeah.
Like, they are most definitely looking just to completely destroy in the team fights. There's Necro books up against a lineup where there's only one BKB carrier, and that's the Gyrocopter. The Invoker is still going to have real problems, Aghanim Scepter or no Aghanim Scepter. Like, if he gets focused down by those Necros, you can have no mana to speak of and no real presence in the fight. But that's only if he gets locked down. The jump in initiation still has to come in from Boogie. And, well, he finds one. It's going to be over on no fear. He doesn't have enough damage. Okay, he's going to heal Scepter, cancel the TP out. No fear, in fact, now tries to turn. There is the charge coming in from Avorst. Actually overshooting the mark. He's going over towards Varlix. Paralyzing cast, able to stop him. He goes to the Nether Strike, pushing him back to Sunstrike Varlix. He's up high enough, but Boogie actually gets hit by the Nether Strike. And they all just want to get out of here. Necro books are already triggered. And the rest of Stark do not want to stick around for that.
Looks like Boogie's gonna go for the Aghanims builds. I don't mind it too much in this game because you have two very mobile heroes in Sand King and Spearbreaker, and Gyrocopter is pretty fast as well, so Aghanims really helps lock down these heroes. That said, I think it would also be a game where I would be okay with Scythe of Ice picked up as an early item on Puck just because it is so essential to lock down the Invoker to prevent him from getting off his mirror.
Hello, Aghanims. We have Aghanim SK now.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
See the lens?
That's...
You know what?
This is your burrow strike range. Like, this here is your burrow strike range.
You know when you're playing Sand King, you can't actually see the edges of your burrow strike. You have Ether Lens and Aghanim. Like, it goes past the screen that you're on.
I'm actually surprised that Valve never implemented a zoom out function for the players. Because there was a way you could do it with the camera mode in Warcraft 3 Dota.
Mm-hmm.
You could zoom out for it.
I think you're messing with a very baseline mechanic at that point in time that is important to the level of play. Like, that is something that, believe me, if professional players could, they would scroll out. That would be hugely beneficial. It helps keeping the camera zoomed in, helps create the more chaotic environment that makes it all the more important.
You're not able to see everything coming.
Yeah, the professional players really shine when they have this closed-up camera in one area, but they're able to still move that map around and see everything that they need to see, or still have the awareness of their map, be able to see, a hero coming in behind or something like that. I would say it's sort of skill.
It's a pretty big thing. I watch a lot of top players, and they don't even look at the hero half the time. Most of the time most of the time they're just looking at the target they're engaging to or the area they're going to, just in front. I remember hearing Blitz talking about like position and that kind of stuff. That was when he Trixie. Trixie. He was going for the trade of try and kill off the courier, and all of Empire turn on him.
What did I say, Toby, earlier about Trixie?
If he thinks it's worth it,
that could happen, that possibly would be worth him leaving away his life. If he's dead. Oh yes, he is.
With a Vorst right behind him. Oh, okay, they need the Nightmare or something. Now it's gonna be Sark losing 3 players in very quick succession. Giving an opening for Team Empire. Yeah, Havor's burned his BKB, but it's Havor's BKB.
Sure hope Iron Talon gets.
Does seem a little OP.
Just because I'm an offlaner and I don't want to constantly be having to jump. Seeing this, like, Universe, and you see now, like, Havos getting an Iron Talon on a Spear Picker. Like, most offlaners are getting Iron Talon, like, no matter what they're playing, just because it's, like, too efficient, like, the opportunities with that extra camp.
Well, yeah, because all you gotta do is just walk over and you take away half of the HP of the big creep. Like, normally, you'd never even consider trying to take out the big creep because the amount of damage you take, the consumables you had to expend was just too much. Alright, Boogie, gonna jump in. He's just trying to slow him down. Lycan is 8 seconds off respawn. Mage does also tick down a lot of that creep wave, so Valis can get rid of the rest of it. As, okay, well, if at first you don't succeed, try and Trixie again. You managed to snipe out the courier. It still didn't have anything major on it, still just that smoke as well as a magic wand of Havorst. I'd like to that Havorst actually values the Iron Talon over a magic wand. The magic wand was always labeled as like one of the greatest items in the game. Cost.
Yeah, it hurts you when you have to drop off your magic wand. You're like, no. It's kept me alive through so many fights.
But in this case, he's willing to drop it for the Iron Talon.
Arm efficient.
It's like Stark are gonna head down towards the pit, but it's still another minute away until he's up.
Gem pickup.
I mean, he's got if he carries himself, like, or if he gives it to someone like Scandal.
I think he's one of the initiators or counter initiators. It's always good to have it on your. Really, if he has a good amount of survivability, which he does. Old blink. Know how to call Burrow Strike at this point.
What do you like? There's gotta be some level of. Because it's just so big. Can we call it a Burrow Donger? Is it
Burrow Donger?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm loath to create more memes that play off of the Donger, but it might be. You may have just spread your legs, Toby, and birthed a new meme. Congrats.
Just trying to think of something which can really describe something so long. the only thing I can come up with.
Funny, bouncing around the map, burrow, strike, and blink.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Initiation range is crazy. So it was meant to be Stark who are the ones with the double level 3 necrobox that were meant to force things, but it's Empire who are coming in through the bottom. So Roshan's not going to spawn for another minute. The Wrath of Nature will bounce through him, but Vorce is very deep in. He was back almost past the Rax area. The Treants are taking the creep wave away. Now they can come back again, but top tower, Nephi will take it. He can still TP back, but no, he burnt necrobox. So they're going to try and go for some semi-trade if Stark can slow down the push. So there goes your necrobox. Instantly Aloha's already taking them out. Trixie, of course, he's still way too deep. It allows OKC to hold him in position, but the BKB is protecting the entire time. A big dream call is forcing Empire to stay here, but they're very happy to remain here as well. They swap Farlix back in again. They're still finishing up the ranks. They've got the big one, which is the melee ranks. No fear, trying to run back out again. He'll drop. Meanwhile, up on top, Nephi has taken out the range ranks only. The bottom ranks is fully done. Punic coming in with that epicenter. He'll burrow strike into Nephi. He needs a little bit more time. That's going to end up killing off Punic. The Dem is on the deck as well. A Force will charge in. Nephi just needs to finish up the tower off the racks. He's able to do so. Where is your bash? There's your stun with a buyback coming out from Punic. Nephi's out of form time, and now Punic will actually just burn him down with the Sandstorm. It ends up being a Rax for a Rax trade-off at the end of the fight. There's a lot of money being spent by Empire. That's full AC as well as Satanic now done.
I can kind of understand what Stark is going for here. They sort of hedge their bets in a way that they think that they can possibly defend with 4. And that was primarily because of the Ags pickup on the Witch Doctor. If they get a successful Death Ward that, gets out for the full duration, can actually defend 4 versus 5 without a problem. And then Lycan can take a lane of Rax. It's a huge win, game-changing actually, and they go from there. But if it doesn't happen, then they at least trade Rax for Rax, because I think that Empire is much better control in this game, and trading Rax for Rax when you're behind is very beneficial. Because it just brings you closer to the end of the game on both sides, and if you're on the losing side, maybe you can pull off some sort of quick upset. One bad fight for Team Empire, and all of a sudden, boom, you go straight throne, or you have 2 lanes of Rax, and maybe close to Mega Creeps.
Here comes Empire. That illusionary orb's going to cause a little bit of problems, and they kind of need a D-ward, that observer ward, which just got planted down by Empire. So they know if Stark try to initiate in from the eastern part of this. In fact, they should have seen the smoke, but Roshan's already done the burrow strike up from Punic, able to reach Boogie. I don't know if that burrow strike can reach further than Meteorite, but right now Spirit Breaker on the run, and he's getting munched down by Nephi. They're going to finish the job. Do they try and turn now? You've still got a low dance to that Black Hand do his work, and the double burrow strike and the double tornado from Punic, as well as Scandal and combo. They'll end up killing off Trixie. This Invoker is just so big. It's a 10-1-8 Scandal Invoker.
Yeah, Scandal's played this really well. Granted, he's got a great team to set him up for success. He's got a lot of early Sunstrike kills, which gives him the early experience to really succeed as an Invoker, but he did not drop a beat after that. He set him up for success, and he utilized that advantage that he had pretty damn well. So the celebratory Divine Rapier.
Glory last item of the Gyrocopter, just to screw with all the stats men that are out there. Got it before the end, so he gets to count. Did he actually sell everything to pick that up, or he didn't know he had the money? He actually had the money. So anyway, GG, game number 1 is over. Team Empire will be victorious. One hell of an Invoker play by Scandal. What's going to happen in game number 2 in our last game of the night? We'll find out after this break.